that's on top of all the places where your data is already exposed and there for the taking. However, Incogni works by scraping the internet to find out exactly where you're exposed, and immediately sends takedown demands to help wipe your information from the internet within days. And setting up an account is as simple as registering and authorizing them to work on your behalf. And once you've done that, Incogni will go to work to start
when chaos threatens to drown out competence, experience matters. After a devastating attack on 9/11, Susan Collins led
scrubbing all your information from these websites. And often there's a lot more information out there than most people realize. Plus, with their Unlimited Plan's new custom removal feature, you can request specific links, and Incogni's team will take care of them for you. And I know just how dangerous having your information out there can be, because a few years ago, I had someone impersonate me and try to extort a close family member of mine. So take your personal information back with Incogni, and use code Sergeant Curtis by scanning the QR code. Or go through the link below and get 60% off an annual plan.
Would you consent to let me search your car?
Below with impersonate me and try to extort a close specific links, and Incogni's team will take care of them for you. And I know just how dangerous having your information out there can be, because a few years ago I had someone impersonate me and try to extort a close family member of mine. So take your personal information back with Incogni, and use code Sergeant Curtis by scanning the QR code. Or go through the link below and get 60% off an annual plan.
Would you consent to let me search your car? I'm just asking if you have every right to say no.
I'd rather just...
Okay, that's fine. So here's the deal. I tell you what, I got a dog, okay? I'll run him around your car real quick. If he alerts to the odor of narcotics, I have probable cause to search it. If not, you be free to go. We'll get you going, okay? So here's what I'm going to have you do. Come on. Yeah. Now, come on. I'll be real quick with this. If you just stand right here for me, okay? He bites. I just don't want him to bite. But everything in there is yours, correct? Okay.
That face from the trooper says basically everything. This situation is escalating in the trooper's investigative mind. Let's talk about some things here. We see where the guy is standing and where the trooper has placed him. It's a very strange travel route. Is that illegal? Again.
But everything in there is yours, correct? Okay.
That face from the trooper says basically everything. This situation is escalating in the trooper's investigative mind. Let's talk about some things here. We see where the guy is standing and where the trooper has placed him. It's a very strange travel route. Is that illegal? Again, no, it's not illegal. Extreme nervousness, that can seem very suspicious. I mean, would you be nervous if you got stopped by the police? Yeah, there's basic nervousness, but there's extreme nervousness, and that's something that the officer is going to take into consideration. Is that illegal? Absolutely not. But these pieces are starting to get suspicious. I mean, would you be nervous if you got stopped by the police? Yeah, there's basic nervousness, but there's extreme nervousness, and that's something that the officer is going to take into consideration. Is that illegal? Absolutely not. But these pieces are starting to get put together. Is this corridor a corridor that's utilized from people who transport illegal pharmaceuticals? If it is, then yes. Is it illegal to travel that corridor? Obviously not. But is it also part of the puzzle? Oklahoma was mentioned as a state. Is Oklahoma known as a state that grows a lot of the green pharmaceutical? Is that illegal that you went to this state? Absolutely not. But if you start to put together the puzzle, you start to see where the officer's investigation is going. Is that enough to have a free air sniff around the vehicle and you have the canine right there? Absolutely, according to the law. So that's where we are. I like what the trooper said he bites when he talks about the dog. That's very, very intentional. If the person isn't going to run or do anything aggressive to the officer, that's just kind of like letting the person know, a warning that if you try to do something that you're likely going to encounter something very unpleasant. Very smart without being aggressive. Now here I want to cover something that is definitely not the best practice when it comes to officer safety. Even though there was a pat down conducted, it wasn't a very thorough pat down in my opinion, and to let the subject walk behind you is not the ideal. Very definitely, person is a, what the trooper said, he bites when he talks about it. Absolutely, have a free air sniff. Start to see where the officer is state. Absolutely not. But if the pharmaceutical is mentioned as a state, is to travel that corridor, I will transport illegal pharma put together. Is this corridor according to the law? Kind of like letting, definitely not the best practice when it comes to let the subject walk behind of myself. Not something in law enforcement that myself is not the ideal practice, down in my opinion, practice when it comes to being aggressive. Now, that you're likely going to just kind of like letting the person know the person isn't going to run or do anything aggressive to the officer. That's just kind of like letting the person know, a warning that if you try to do something that you're likely going to encounter something. Like letting the person the officer's investigation is going. Is that enough to have a free air sniff around where the officer is state? Absolutely not. But if you start to put together the puzzle, you start to see where the officer's investigation is going. Is that enough to have a free air sniff around the vehicle and you have the canine right there? Absolutely, according to the law. So that's where we are. I like where the troopers...
A volatile personality, anger issues with women, verbal abuse. It's not Graham Plattner, it's Troy Jackson. Jackson has a history of conflicts with women, bullying, even intimidation. Jackson's conduct was so bad, his fellow Democrats raised alarm bells about his temperament. Jackson is like Graham Plattner, but worse. Decades as a political insider, accused of mortgage fraud, unpaid taxes, and bankrolled by powerful lobbyists. That's the real Troy Jackson. SLF PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Step inside, Jack. Spot fire. Change your whole world up. Change your whole world now. That spot fire. Load up. Load up. Get in there. Load up. Load up. Load up. Donation, whatever. Get me on your way out. I don't care.
Clings heavy to the floor tonight. Two shadows moving in the pale moonlight. I check my axe, you sharpen your blade. Side by side, we are never afraid. You wanna ghost, follow me, my wick. You're the shield that holds when the mountains quake. A queen of the forest, the wolf in the fray.
He's like a false sense of security.
Said he bites when he talks about the dog. That's very, very intentional. If the person isn't going to run or do anything aggressive to the officer, that's just kind of like letting the person know, a warning that if you try to do something that you're likely going to encounter something very unpleasant. Very smart without being aggressive. Now here I want to cover something that is definitely not the best practice when it comes to officer safety. Even though there was a pat down conducted, it wasn't a very thorough pat down in my opinion, and to let the subject walk behind you is not the ideal practice in any kind of circumstance. In fact, when I reviewed my video of myself, I remember noticing that at one point I had let the subject walk behind me, and that's not something in law enforcement that you want to do.
Hey man, stand back over there. Back up. Okay. You rented it in your name. I mean, okay. Where are you headed to today?
Atlanta to see my friend
Atlanta to see your friend.
and pick up my buddy and his grandmother to bring him back to Tulsa.
Okay. Whereabouts in Atlanta do they live? Georgia?
Georgia, right outside of me.
I'll be lying to you. You don't know the address?
But it's Gary Schroeder.
I don't know Gary.
I can call you, get his address.
No, I'm just curious, you know.
Okay,
I don't know Gary. You don't know the address?
But it's Gary Schroeder.
I don't know Gary.
I can call you, get his address.
No, I'm just curious, you know.
Okay, so interesting. We're from Arizona, driving through Arkansas, rented a car in Oklahoma, and we're going to Georgia. Is any of that illegal? Absolutely not. Free country. You can do all of those things. But is it a bit strange? Yes. And does it become suspicious coupled with other things, especially if part of what your law enforcement function is to be interdiction to stop illegal pharmaceuticals from traveling? So you start to see how this wall gets built around some really kind of suspicious behavior.
You seem nervous. You okay? Or are you just tired? Or
My wife, my fiance setting up a wedding.
okay,
And I just got the cost for it,
Right.
along with the remodeling of our kitchen.
right?
It's very distracting because it's not right now.
Okay. Not up to it.
Can I call them?
You can in just a second. So let me ask you a question, man. I said you seem real nervous to me. Your hands are shaking stuff. You sure you're okay?
Oh, no, I've been drinking coffee like crazy. No,
Nothing illegal in your car today.
nothing, sir.
No guns, nothing like that. Okay. Any,
I don't got kids going to college.
Oh, I have to ask.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Does everything in this car belong to you?
Yeah, it's just my suitcase.
Okay.
It's evident by now that this officer knows a little bit more than he's letting on to. And while this is a very smart tactic for gathering information from a suspect, when it comes to strangers on the internet, access to your personal information is the last thing you want. You see, every year, millions of people have their confidential information leaked online. And as we speak, there are possibly hundreds of websites trying to sell your information. And that's on top of all the places where your data is already exposed and there for the taking. However, Incogni works by scraping the internet to find out exactly where you're exposed and immediately sends takedown demands to help wipe your information from the internet within days. And setting up an account is as simple as registering and authorizing them to work on your behalf. And once you've done that, Incogni will go to work to start scrubbing all your information from these websites. And often there's a lot more information out there than most people realize. Plus, with their Unlimited Plan's new custom removal feature, you can request specific links, and Incogni's team will take care of them for you. And I know just how dangerous having your information out there can be, because a few years ago, I had someone impersonate me and try to extort a close family member of mine. So take your personal information back with Incogni and use code Sergeant Curtis by scanning the QR code, or go through the link below and get 60% off an annual plan.
Would you consent to let me search your car?
Really?
I'm just asking you. You have every right to say no.
I'd rather just...
Okay, that's fine. So here's the deal. I tell you what. I got a dog. Okay. I'll run him around your car real quick until he alerts the odor of narcotics. I have probable cause to search it. If not, you be free to go. We'll get you going. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna have you do. Come. Yeah. So come on. I'll be real quick with this. If you just stand right here for me, okay? He bites. I just don't want him to bite you. But everything in there is yours, correct? Okay.
That face on the trooper says basically everything. This situation is escalating in the trooper's investigative mind. Let's talk about some things here. We see where the guy is standing and where the trooper has placed him. It's a very strange travel route. Is that illegal? Again, no, it's not illegal. Extreme nervousness, that can seem very suspicious. I mean, would you be nervous if you got stopped by the police? Yeah, there's basic nervousness, but there's extreme nervousness, and that's something that the officer is going to take into consideration. Is that illegal? Absolutely not. But these pieces are starting to get put together. Is this corridor that's utilized from people who transport illegal pharmaceuticals? If it is, then yes. Is it illegal to travel that corridor? Obviously not. But is it also part of the puzzle? Oklahoma was mentioned as a state. Is Oklahoma known as a state that grows a lot of the green pharmaceutical? Is that illegal that you went to this state? Absolutely not. But if you start to put together the puzzle, you start to see where the officer's investigation is going. Is that enough to have a free air sniff around the vehicle and you have the canine right there? Absolutely, according to the law. So that's where we are. I like where the trooper said he bites when he talks about the dog. That's very, very intentional. If the person isn't going to run or do anything aggressive to the officer, that's just kind of like letting the person know, a warning that if you try to do something, that you're likely going to encounter something very unpleasant. Very smart without being aggressive. Now, here I want to cover something that is definitely not the best practice when it comes to officer safety. Even though there was a pat-down conducted, it wasn't a very thorough pat-down in my opinion, and to let the subject walk behind you is not the ideal practice in any kind of circumstance. In fact, when I reviewed my video of myself, I remember noticing that at one point I had let the subject walk behind me, and that's not something in law enforcement that you want to do.
Hey man, stand back over there. Back up. Ooh, you'll find it. You'll find it.
A blockbuster on a micro budget.
Don't blow this out of proportion. With Artlist AI, the same budget means higher production value. By mixing real footage with AI elements, your team can now create every location, stunts, and dream shots the client needs, dragons included. Go big without going broke.
Thanks.
Go to Artlist and start creating without limits.
to talk about something here. First, let's just talk about what's likely going through this guy's mind when that happens. But I want to talk about the legality of what's going on here. There's a really interesting case. It's U.S. versus Tuton, T-U-T-O-N. It's an Arkansas case. And what's really interesting about this case, it was a 2018 case, and I mentioned it before. The trooper mentions this term called a profound alert. And a profound alert is something that the canine does that even a layman or an average person would say that that was a change of behavior, or they would notice that that was an alert. And that was a profound alert. Anyone, even if you have no understanding of canine, you will see a change in behavior of that dog that was very noticeable. And I'm sure that that subject who was driving the car that was on the phone, I can only imagine what he says when the dog does what he did at that point. Look up that U.S. versus T-U-T-O-N case. It's a really interesting case to read. The trooper goes into a lot of detail about the different types of alerts. I love reading stuff like that. Those of you who like that, you'll find it interesting.
Hey, so we'll find it. Oh, yeah, we'll find it.
Dwinger?
What do you want me to talk to?
I was going to get the numbers so I could give it to them.
Okay, so here's the deal, okay? Dog alerted on your vehicle, okay? So it gives me probable cause to search it. This is your one chance, and your one chance only, to be honest with me. Is there something in there you're not supposed to have?
Yes.
What's in there?
Yes, sir.
You're admitting you have in your vehicle?
Yes, sir.
How much?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
How much?
I think it's 25 pounds.
You think you have 25 pounds? Okay, turn around, put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Listen to me, okay? I appreciate you being honest. You have the right to remain silent, okay? Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in court. You have the right to have an attorney present before you answer any questions, okay? If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you by the state of Arkansas at no cost to you. Do you understand that?
Okay, I'd like to talk about Miranda here because a lot of lay people and sometimes even officers have challenges understanding about Miranda. Miranda is if a person is in custody and you are asking them questions about a specific crime. In custody, custodial is the key. But here's where it is very, very interesting. It's whether the person or a reasonable person would feel that they were in custody under the circumstances. So let's talk about some things that can come into play where the person would feel like they're in custody. There's a prosecutor side and a defense side. So the things that are in favor from the prosecution side that would make a person not feel in custody. He's not in handcuffs at first. He's in this open field and the officer has never told him he was under arrest and there's not a whole bunch of officers surrounding him. This is an investigative detention. The defense side, they're always going to operate from would a reasonable person feel like they were free to leave under the circumstance. One of the things they're going to take into mind was that the person was moved. Within reason, you can move people. But what about the questioning that was asked? I'm going to give you one chance and one chance only. Under those circumstances, would a reasonable person feel that they were in custody and not able to leave? Maybe. But again, I think that this trooper is really on pretty solid ground where it gets a little bit closer when he asks about the 25 pounds. Still likely on good ground, but again, we're starting to get close to where a reasonable person's not going to feel like they were able to leave and that this becomes a custodial interrogation. And what could potentially happen is that 25-pound response could be vulnerable to suppression. And I'm not saying that that is here, because remember, we're just looking at this dash cam, and there's a lot of other things that come into play. But the most important thing I'd like you to take away from with Miranda is, would a reasonable person feel as though they were free to leave under the circumstances? There are a lot of different variables. It's the totality of the circumstances.
It's your money?
That's my money.
Okay. Car keys, where are they at?
Yeah, with the car.
Which box? Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna put your money. How much money is here?
Like 7 grand.
7 grand? Okay. We're gonna put said 7 grand back in your pocket, okay?
Is it illegal to carry $7,000 in U.S. currency in your pocket? It is not. But does that also lead to parts of the puzzle? And 7 grand for those from other countries, that's $7,000. Grand is just meaning 1,000. Is that illegal? No, it's not. But when you put all the pieces together, it seems to be more suspicious. Now I'm going to say something else about a pat down. $7,000, pretty significant bulge that would be inside of a person's pocket. During the pat down, did the trooper notice that? And could that be also confused for being a small type of firearm? I'm not suggesting that the trooper missed anything on the pat down, but $7,000 is a pretty significant bulge.
10-15, please start reaching.
Never for 3. 4 cases in the back, so.
4 cases? Just 25 pounds?
I'm not sure. That's what they told me.
Okay. Hang on. They told you it was 25 pounds?
Yes, sir.
There are trucks, and then there's the 2020 2026 GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 2.9% APR for 72 months plus $1,500 purchase cash on Sierra models.
Introducing Titan MFT Server, the secure, cloud-optimized, managed file transfer solution. Deploy flexibly, on-premises, in the cloud, or hybrid. Admins configure with ease.
You want to answer my questions?
I'm not ready to.
Okay, all right, have a seat. Okay, you're too old for this. Okay, fair enough. Okay. So, how much you get paid? Is that $7,000 your payment?
No, that was for expenses.
For expenses during the trip? Okay. So, they told you there was 25 pounds in there?
That's what told me I was picking it up. Yes.
And you picked it up where? In Oklahoma, and you were going to take it to where?
I've just taken it to Atlanta. They were chase switching cars at me.
You're a pretty nervous human being, you know that, right? And I've been doing this a long time, brother, okay? I'll be back with you in a minute. I'll be back, hang on.
What am I looking at?
Huh?
What am I looking at?
A felony?
I've said this before in these videos. I mean, that look on the face, if you were to go to all the videos and look, there's one point that the person that's in that back seat has that look on their face like, why did I do this?
More than 25 pounds, Chief. Huh? Do what? That's just what they told you? So they gave you that $7 grand, Mr. Miller, for spending money? Huh? They did?
Yes, sir.
They weren't going to let you keep any of it?
I assume, I don't know, maybe when I got there.
Yeah. What were you supposed to do when you got there?
Just give them the car.
And how were you supposed to get back home?
They were going to give me a plane ticket.
And fly you back to Arizona?
Yeah.
Can't beat that dog's nose, dude. You know what I mean?
Why was he in the front, not the back, though?
Do what?
Why do you alert in the front, not the back?
Well, you not see where his head went to begin with? Right there at your fender well? Yeah. Yeah, well, you also got to think you just had that window rolled down, too, so where's the most air coming out of that car at? I know. You know how many thousand pounds of that dog's found?
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah, a lot.
They've got a huge load coming.
They do?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Work with me.
Well,
I'll give you the whole thing.
yeah? We'll see what we can do, man. I'll give you the chance to help you.
You're going to have 300 or 400 a week going from here, starting the week after next. Plus, there are other lanes.
Through other ways?
There are other lanes that they use.
Oh, I know there's other lanes they use.
Oregon, California.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised they don't tell y'all to stay out of Arkansas, right? Huh?
What'd you say?
I said, I'm surprised you hadn't been told to stay out of Arkansas.
Yes, to stay out of Arkansas if you're going to do that.
I was driving a school bus at that time.
Driving a school bus?
Yeah, it was for credit for Arizona State.
Yeah?
And it was in the hood. And one day I'm dropping off these kids. They started up the bus, and I called, and cops got there. But when they busted the kid, he had an ounce of coke on him.
Oh.
So they had to put up this girl to say that I did all kinds of things and everything. And, you know, when the kid says that, they take it serious, you know. So I went through hell for like 3 or 4 months until they finally figured out they were all lying and put them up to it. But the shit that sucks is it stays on your record.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it just shows that you had a charge. It doesn't show that you had a conviction. Should have just used your turn signal, Bubba. You know?
Yes, sir.
We wouldn't even be talking right now.
Yeah. Right where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah?
This is classic, and I've mentioned this many times when I've told you about the old school police saying, take care of the misdemeanors and the felonies, take care of themselves. These troopers, their stops are almost always misdemeanor stops that turn into these felonies. And I've seen this trooper before. This isn't even a big amount for him. This guy gets, I imagine hundreds upon hundreds of pounds of stuff. And it's back to the take care of the misdemeanors and the felonies will take care of themselves.
I just look at this, everything happens for a reason.
That's true.
Here, this is going to be one vehicle that is towing two.
Experience matters. After a devastating attack, Susan Collins led the way forward, enacting historic bipartisan reforms that made us safer. Susan saved 250,000 main jobs. She protects access to quality health care, and she delivered the Social Security Fairness Act, boosting the incomes of 25,000 Maine retirees. America's most bipartisan senator, always working for Maine.
I check my ex, shop in your blade. Side by side, we ain't never afraid. You wanna ghost following in my way.
So I'm gonna stop right here with vehicles getting towed and this guy's looking at his vehicle getting towed. And through his mind, I'm sure all the things are flashing before when he was wondering whether or not he should do this. Anyone who's thinking about doing something like this, it's felony stupid. There's no ultimate win because eventually you will get caught. Eventually, one lane change, turn signal violation can lead to a life-altering event. This guy seems like a nice enough guy, and he's elected to do something that's illegal. Even if you feel like that green stuff should be legal, and I know a lot of people do, if it's against the law, why risk it? There are other ways to go about it. The original video, which is pinned, and I've done quite a few of their videos. I don't have the official report here, but I'm just going to read off this, and it's pinned if you'd like to look to what they have written here. And it's Arkansas police activity. And it says that the subject was arrested for possession of controlled substance with purpose to deliver and possession of paraphernalia. Felonies over trying to do something and being slick. It's never ever a win. Ultimately, people will get caught. There's just too many ways that you're going to risk your freedom for something that's not even worth it. Do the right thing. Which leads me to today's coin because it's about integrity. This is a very interesting coin. So this coin is from the United States Police and Fire Championships. Commitment, camaraderie, competition. That's that side. And there's this side. So let me just talk to you about this coin, okay? So this is from the person who gave me permission to say their name, and I'm going to read from the letter that came with it. Sergeant Christopher Curtis, I'm incredibly proud to share that I recently competed in the U.S. Police and Fire Championships in swimming, which I successfully won 7 gold medals. Building on this momentum, my next major milestone is to travel to Perth, Australia. Shout out to the Australian people, the Aussies that watch. A lot of you guys watch. Traveling on March of 2027 to represent our community and compete globally in the World Police and Fire Games. As a symbol of solidarity and shared dedication, I'm presenting you with a unique challenge coin from the U.S. Police and Fire Championships. This token is designed to serve as an intentional prompt for individuals to critically reflect on their physical health and functional conditioning. You're always messaging to the officers in your videos, are you in the shape to be in the fight of your life? To challenge them to think about their physical health, so I figured this challenge coin would be a good representation of the sentiment. So this is one of those. This is from Brock Sheila. So Brock Sheila, also the winner of 7 gold medals, sent the channel one of his gold medals. So on the podium that he received this medal, he sent a gold medal to the channel, promoting sport and physical fitness among the first responders. This is definitely one of those. So those of you who don't know about the Police and Fire Games, the U.S. Police and Fire Championships are one of the nation's premier athletic competitions for active and retired law enforcement, firefighters, corrections, and first responders. The World Police Fire Games are an international Olympic-style competition bringing together thousands of first responders from around the world to compete in dozens of sports. They celebrate fitness, camaraderie, and excellence in law enforcement, firefighters, corrections, and other first responders through world-class athletic competition. So again, super shout out to Brock. When he's in Australia, Aussies, please support Brock to win some more medals. But you guys actually are really good at swimming. I remember that you guys did a number on us one of those Olympics ago. I can't remember which one it was. But shout out to everyone who's want to look yourself in the mirror. Only you can answer the question. Are you in the shape to be in the fight of your life? And it's not only police officers. All of us have someone or something that we love, that being in the shape of the fight of our life is what we need to be in order to take care of a situation. If you like this kind of content, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the video that's on your screen for more content just like this. Go Brock. And don't forget to sign up for Incognito to protect your personal information by scanning this QR code on the screen or by using code Sergeant Curtis to get 60% off an annual plan.
Two shadows moving in the pale moonlight. I check my ex, you sharpen your blade. Side by side, we are never afraid. You wanna go follow my way. You're the shield that holds when the mountains quake. In the fray, we march to the rhythm of the iron.
When my heart got hot, I heard somebody say, burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno, yeah. Burn the father down. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno.
Together we plant the warrior seed. Gold in the fire, silver in the soul. Two halves of a heart making the circle whole. The shields clash loud and
That's a freaking bogus ass charge and you know it. No, I didn't do anything. I got out of the vehicle.
There's a saying that goes, headstrong but dead wrong. And no other profession is that more apparent than running into people who push the limit so far that they argue with the officer all the way through the stop, straight into handcuffs and directly to jail. This is one of those.
pale moonlight. I check my ex, you sharpen your blade. Side by side, we are never afraid. You wanna go follow my way. You're the shield that holds when
So right here, I just want you to take a look at something that's really interesting from a car stop. And officers who are aware, look at this. You can see the driver and how intently they are looking back at the officer. Another reason why I prefer the passenger side approach, although you can see them in the other mirror, I just take note of how intently they're watching me during my approach. And then most officers who are sharp do the same.
If it depends who the sheriff's office, I'm just stopping for the stop sign there at Walnut. You just kind of roll straight through it, okay? I don't want nobody to get hit. We'll let bikes and stuff through here, okay?
I rolled through the stop sign?
Yeah. Just wait.
Okay, I don't recall doing that at all.
That's fine. I want you to do it. You want to do it?
Yeah, I do.
The positioning again back behind the B pillar, I'm always going to mention it because to me it's not tactically advantageous, especially now she's digging inside of a purse. What is she reaching for? We don't know.
I'll show you my license. I don't ever let anyone hold it.
Well, I need it, so.
I'm required to show it to you.
Okay, I need it so I can go run your information.
There's my information right here.
Give me a driver. I'm not doing it.
Sir,
Ma'am,
I'm not required to... No, sir.
I need...
I am not required to do this.
This is definitely going poorly. From a tactical perspective, I'd like to mention that the officer walked with his back completely, never kept his eye on this aggressive person who's driving. Can we do both? Can we walk and look and keep an eye on this person? I've mentioned this in videos before. From a tactical perspective, want to keep an eye on a person and make it feel uncomfortable that we keep our back to them for any extended period of time.
I got your back beneath the know, that's good.
She's refusing to give me her ID, so she doesn't have to give it to me. So, we'll see how this goes. You want me to talk to you? Nah. You try. She's just, I don't know why she...
Fine. I mean, you can look at the information, but... No, sir, I don't...
They're on the phone, dial a defense, and we've seen that the dial a defense gives horrible advice.
Here's my license. Here's my... I will not hand you my license. I am not required to hand you in your hand my license.
Listen, I'm going to tell you. What's going to happen is I'm going to call for a supervisor, and he's going to tell you that you're going to give me your license.
No, sir. I
So
won't.
for the time being, because...
With all due respect,
listen to
sir.
me, listen to me.
No, sir.
Yes.
No,
ma'am.
sir.
All right,
No,
step
sir.
out. Step out, please.
No,
Yes,
sir.
step out.
Excuse me.
Step out, please.
No, sir.
Yes, you are uncooperative. I would like you to
Yes, I don't want to talk to you. I'll speak to
This is
him.
my traffic stop.
I don't care. You don't...
I need you to step out. Yes.
You'll just have to wait a second.
No, I don't. It's not on your timing, it's on mine.
No, it's not,
There's
sir.
United States case law, Pennsylvania versus
I
Wales.
don't care
Listen,
what that
okay,
is.
you're gonna go to jail for resisting if you don't get out of your car.
What am I under arrest for?
314, you're the supervisor now.
What am I under arrest for?
Just hear me out for a second.
I am.
He's asked you to step out of the vehicle. Whether you agree with it or not, that's a lawful command, okay? So,
What?
If you step out and comply, we can, wrap this up. It probably would even be a warning. We probably wouldn't even give you whatever you would go for.
This is, can I say something?
Of course, go ahead. I'll hear you
He
out.
asked for my driver's license. I showed it to him. I know for a fact that I'm not required by law to give it to him.
I look at you and I see me. So class just wanted to make a statement, share an observation about this one that we were watching. This poor guy. So they're just using, I don't know if it's Windex or what. So class is talking about how this is a classic example of, I know he's sitting there too watching the whole thing, dog sniffing his car. He knows he's fucked, right? He's being very quiet. He's just kind of sitting back watching the whole thing. And he's putting it all together, like he's realizing. He's realizing that the people he trusted, were friends with maybe, they set him up, didn't they? Probably. It happens all the time. White American drug traffickers, punks, they get these kind of people all the time. They tempt them with enough money, and it's sad because it's usually people that have lived in poverty most of their lives or struggled, and you get given an offer to take a drive with stuff in your car. It seems like easy money, doesn't it? And they're offering you so much money. They got your back, if anything happens. Right, so a lot of times they purposely will give an offer to some of their immigrant friends. And then they set it up too. They're the ones that tip off the cops. What car? Sometimes, it's part of a sting operation. So, can you see how the punks might look like they're working with the good guys? Yeah, those wires have gotten crossed a lot over the years. So the punks that befriend these people and get them to get in a car with all these drugs. Okay, see, that's where we're at. See, a lot of people are, throw this guy in jail and we got to give him lots of time. And we're like, yeah, no, who the fuck set him up with all that and offered him a deal he couldn't refuse? That's what we're wondering. Well, we know. We're wondering why other people don't want to acknowledge that. Because were you part of the sting operation? Cracking down on the drugs? Take a bite out of crime! Let's go, McGruff. You fucking stupid pieces of shit. I'm sorry. So anyways, we're talking to white fucking punks that cause a lot of problems in our communities with this kind of shit. But he's sitting there, he's figuring it all out. Yep. Motherfuckers. Can't believe. And it's sad, because they were probably thinking if they could just make it to their destination, they would have been set probably for life. They offer them good money. Oftentimes. Look at all that. Holy shit, huh? Look at that. Fucking garbage bags coming out of the trunk. Now, why in the world would this guy risk that? He seems nonviolent. I mean, I wouldn't fear for my safety around him. Right, I mean, the fact that he's trafficking all these drugs, it's pretty dangerous. That could have ended up on the street, into the hands of mentally ill people trying to get stable on their prescription drugs. Huh. What a fucking joke, huh? So he's probably sitting there realizing he got set up by people he trusted. They knew they were going to get pulled over, and then Cops get a big bus. Good job. Take a picture. Put in those fucking bags. Stand around them. Take a big picture. Put your badges on it. Look at what we did. Look at all the drugs that we got off the street. We're cracking down on. No, this is nothing against the cops. It's just play talk. Okay? Just to help bring a perspective. To understand how the cops get set up doing this shit. And a lot of them wind up getting killed because sometimes this dude isn't so laid back and he might have a gun on him. Happens. Yeah, it happens a lot. $7-Eleven. Right, and so then not only do they get the bust, but they gave the offer to someone of a different nationale. And they'll say, oh, the frickin' Korean drug trade. Asian mafia. Is he Hawaiian? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I mean, they could be Alaskan. And it doesn't matter if they are trafficking the right stuff and they got a certain tattoo or symbols around them. Yeah, it's one of those. It's part of the fucking Shiites, man. The redcoats are coming. We got bigger problems than this, man. Let's go. We'll work together. Who's this guy getting in his car? Plain clothes. I think he was wearing Carhartt pants and a hoodie. Buckle up, we're going for a Do you see what we're saying, though? Well, I think the cops know that, too. And can only bring understanding. I mean, to even speculate can get you killed or fired, so... We'll speculate with what we're seeing. Does it make sense to you, though? And how these white American punks, for years, give people like this offers. They set up whole factories with Chinese people and Mexican people. And then when the bust happens, oh, yep, Mexican. It's a Mexican-Italian cartel. Oh, man. What's it gonna take? So my name's Mary. We're at the Governor Hill Mansion in Augusta, Maine, and I have 4 children here, and my youngest 2. 4 human beings that I birthed from my body between the years of 2004 and 2013. What's been going on needs to be addressed. The abuse with our children and the fucking psychos in our state departments and doctors and people that stepped way beyond their fucking grounds and catered to fucking punks and drug traffickers and nasty fucking State Department people. Fearing the non-vaxxers and bullies and petty bullshit that have gotten a lot of people killed. And our children have been fucked and tortured for years by these punks. And it needs to be addressed. How they got away with it and how they fed out a bunch of child and animal pornography to these lines, especially between the years of 2013 and 2017. That's when we took a trip to Canada. Right, Mr. Chase? Right, so when you understand these middle people too, and when they see State Department people and others doing what they shouldn't, and you see how they get attacked here with our laws and everything, it's not as easy over in other countries and some places when they don't agree. Can you imagine, Mr. Peterson, what happens to the people that aren't so protected by their job titles? Clean records. Do you have a good reputation? Right, so anyways, yeah, think of the ones in poverty. The lower levels of society, you know, the below middle class people that don't have such systems around them. Yeah, no, they get killed pretty easy. It's not hazing like you guys get. Oh, he said something racist. No, he said... Yeah, it's a little different in other areas. Here in America, too, yeah? Especially if you're below middle class. You might as well be in a third world fucking country. Do you get it? People here in Augusta, Maine, do you fucking get it? Proper authorities need to address this because these sick motherfucking druggies, mentally ill fucks don't understand. And we understand that many have been tricked and fooled, just going along with what people are saying and paperwork, which is all you really can do, right? I mean, how can you get an inside view and make your own assessment? Oh, we're batshit crazy. You can go ahead and analyze that all fucking day long. Are we dangerous? We can be. Anybody can be. We all have similar capabilities, don't we? Guns don't kill people. I kill people. Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff. And when you have people that ignore all that and try to cloud the airways with their fucking dramatic bullshit and lawsuits, it gets fucking sickening to people that are risking their lives and dealing with a lot of these situations that none of them seem to even acknowledge. They're living in a fucking bubbled world. They don't fucking care, dude. They're gone. So any suggestions as to how we can get our news people to report on the facts? They seem to be scared. And we know why. Because we see many of them involved with the investigations and getting the cartel people and fearing the non-vaxxers. And you motherfuckers need to pull your heads out of your asses and wake the fuck up. Because you're about to get hit. Do you understand me? Much love, health, and peace to you all.